Hey, what's up? We are back here on the Patriot Show with Otis Kirk, our recruiting insider. National Signing Day on Wednesday, February 6th. And Otis, let's kind of run down the list of guys like Lakia Henry. We got Chris Russell we'll talk about as well down the road here. But Henry, on an unofficial, tell me about this guy as a linebacker. I know Arkansas has really been on him. Yeah,
it's down to Arkansas, Texas, and Ole Miss. Feel good about Arkansas's chances there. I think they're going to get him. He's a kid that can come in, plug in right next to Dejon Harris, and give you instant
support.
Experience. Yeah, support, experience. You know, what I was getting as an older linebacker, you know, you lose Dre Greenlaw, but you come in with Lakia. That gives you someone older to plug into him next to Scooter. And then you've got your, you know, then you got Bumper and those guys to back them up. But, yeah, that'd be a great pickup. You know, Florida State came in. They tried to get him. He was once committed to Tennessee. In fact, he was committed to Tennessee when he took his official visit here for the LSU game. But, yeah, Arkansas, I feel really good about that. You know, Scooter has been recruiting him along with, you know, Coach Chavis. The Chief has really made a mark there and made a great impression with this kid. He's the #1 JUCO linebacker out there. And great pickup for the Hogs, assuming they get him, which I think they will.
Tell me about Adonis Otey, because this guy's been committed to the Hogs, but now he has it down to Arkansas and USC.
Yeah, and you know, he's another one that's kind of up in the air there. You know, late in the week, a source told me it was probably a toss-up there. But then I got another source that tells me that he really likes Arkansas, but maybe someone around him wants Southern Cal, so it's kind of a tug of war there. But, you know, he's got Trey Knox is here, his friend, teammate over there, is at Arkansas.
Murfreesboro Blackman, yep.
Yeah. So I think Arkansas is in pretty good shape there, but that's one that can go either way. I mean, obviously, coming down, when you get in the last 72 hours of recruiting, all of them can go.
Yeah.
It's not Zion can go in, well, not all of them, but a lot of them can go in different way. I mean, I'll be honest with you, last year at this time, everybody thought Andrew Parker was going to Texas. Everybody. And he came to Arkansas. And so you just don't ever know. So many things change. Even that morning of signing day, I never, you know, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, Felix Jones was driving to school to sign with Tennessee, and they flipped him on, Bobby Allen flipped him on the way to school to Arkansas. So, I mean, you just never know on a kid. And so Adonis is going to go down to the wire, but we'll see how it turns out. Arkansas and Southern Cal both signed about the same number of defensive backs, or have them committed and signed, you know, in the class. They're sitting about equal in that regard. I looked. And if I'm not mistaken, I know Arkansas's got 3 corners signed, and they got Jalen Catalan, safety, committed. I think Southern Cal has 3 corners and 2 safeties either signed or committed.
You wrote about that.
So yeah, I mean, it's pretty balanced there. It's not like one team has no corners and the other one has 15, you know. So it's pretty balanced.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, I like the examples you're throwing out there from the past.
Well, but I mean, no, you just never know. Like I said, I mean, I talked to Felix Jones. I was on Sports Wrap with Chuck, you know, the night before, and he told me he's going to Tennessee. And that next day, it comes out that he had signed with Arkansas, and he absolutely was driving to school to sign with the Vols, and he flipped to Arkansas on the way. So that stuff is going to go down to the wire. You just never know, and it's you can't say for certain. Now, like maybe Hudson Henry, some of those guys you can say, but on a kid that's up in the air, you just never know.
Right. Amante Spivey, a running back, has been committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Tell me about his situation, kind of where things are as far as National Signing Day coming up on Wednesday.
Well, Chad Morris did an in-home with him. Oh, Chad Morris, Jeff Traylor, and Joe Craddock did an in-home with him on Friday. That was their last one. He went to Ole Miss last weekend. I feel pretty good, reasonably good about Arkansas there, but it's important they get him. A lot of people look at Arkansas's running back situation and they think, well, you know, why do they need a running back? Well, you've got 4 scholarship running backs, 3 juniors and a senior. You don't want to get, you know, with Malik Williams leaving, you're not going to have an underclassman below a junior on that roster. And running backs get hurt. Every single one of those guys that they've got have been hurt. at one time or another, or several times, you know, some of them several times.
Ole Miss game this past season.
Yeah, I mean, you lose Devwall and Rakeem right there, entire story all in that game. We're talking not a running back, but I mean, I'm just saying.
A lot of weapons,
injuries happen. But
at that
point, I mean, Chase Hayden the year before against Auburn made that long run, and then TJ's had a lot of injuries. So you've got to get a younger running back. They don't need, I've heard thrown out there, well, if Amonte went to Ole Miss, maybe they could get a graduate transfer. They don't need that. They need a younger running back. So I think it's important that they get Amonte, and I think they will. But, man, I mean, Ole Miss is not, just because, Arkansas got the last in home and stuff, and I think Arkansas feels reasonably well about him, as well as you can feel. But they're not going to quit recruiting him, Ole Miss isn't. So it's going to go down, but I feel pretty good about Arkansas there.
How do you feel about Russell, a kid that obviously has been tight-lipped about, letting anything out of the bag because of the town he's from?
Yeah, that's a deal where I really think, Texas A&M is probably the team to beat. He didn't make that Tennessee trip. We talked last week where, I quoted him saying he was going to take the Tennessee visit, and then, he wouldn't announce anything until Wednesday. But it looks like A&M, Chief went in there Thursday. Yeah, didn't in home with him on Thursday. But, and I think Jimbo was in there on Wednesday. But here's the deal. You go back to what I said about Andrew Parker earlier. I mean, last year everybody thought he was going to Texas. He signed with Arkansas. And that didn't mean that it has anything to do with Chris Russell, but I'm just saying it looks like he's going to A&M, but that could change. Just like I said about these kids that look like they're going to Arkansas, it can change. It can flip the other way too. So in recruiting, but Arkansas is not going to stop recruiting Russell, because it looks like right now on Sunday night, or Sunday evening, Sunday night, 72 hours till signing day, or 60, whatever it is, they're not going to stop recruiting him. So that's another one that's going to go down there, and they're going to stay on him. They need him, but that's the 4 that they want to go with the 3 they've got, Drew. And if you get those kids, then you're sitting in really good. You've got a full class. If not, then they'll have to make some decisions what to do after signing day.
Yeah, that's the one given. These guys will never stop recruiting, this Arkansas staff. I mean, these guys have been just hard after it. And I want to ask you about that. We're almost to the end in terms of National Signing Day on Wednesday. And when you look at it collectively, the hard work they've put in, you've written about it several times, the fact that they have a lot of 4-stars in this class.
Well, I just never thought that Arkansas could probably get this many 4-stars in a class. And if they did, I would have bet you it was coming off of a 10-2 season, not 2-10 season. That's what makes it. It's incredible. It started out with this staff. Let me just go back one point even before this. It started with this staff last year with the prospect days. They started getting kids in here from all over the place. I'm talking about out of state, coming in on their own dime to visit Arkansas. And this is something that had never been done before here to that degree.
Yeah, building blocks.
There have been recruits come in, but never to the amount of big-time recruits coming from Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, wherever, Louisiana, Texas, to see Arkansas. Well, it started with that, and it's carried right over into recruiting. And I've never seen a staff recruit relentlessly like this staff. And that's why on these kids, I may say it's looking one way, or like Chris Russell, but I'll never count out Chad Morris and those guys completely on any kid. I mean, doesn't mean they're going to get everybody they recruit. They're not. Obviously, they're not. They, Kelly Bryant didn't come. I can give you other examples. But you never count Arkansas out, because they're relentlessly going to keep pursuing the kids they want. And if they don't get them, they've got a plan. That's one thing about Chad Morris. I mean, that whole staff, they've got a plan and a reason for everything they do. Yeah. And in recruiting, you might question some decisions during a game, but during recruiting, there's been very little question about Chad Morris, So, I mean, people's got to be satisfied with this class. I mean, and that's how you get better. It makes the decisions on game day a lot easier when you've got better, And
big time.
Yeah, when you've got superior talent, you don't think Nick Saban can call a game or, can put in a game plan better because he's got a lot of the talent he's got? I don't know if Arkansas will ever get to the point they've got that kind of talent, but they're improving the talent level. And that's something they're doing, and all you can do is roll up your sleeves and go to work, and that's what Chad and the staff have done. And so you got to take I admire the way they've done this off of a 2-10 season.
Yeah, it is a testament to this staff.
Yeah.
Let's close with this. Prospect Day, the second one for Arkansas. You're coming off that. Experiences there. Donovan Johnson, one of the kids you saw, they're interested in. Obviously, clearly, this is a kid that's good tight end.
Yeah, he is. He and his buddy Jermaine Bradley both were here yesterday from down in Plano, John Paul Second High School in Plano, Texas. I think that's a newer school, but anyway, they were up here yesterday. Both of them were very impressed with Arkansas. Bradley Johnson's 2020. Bradley is a 2021 wide receiver. Those are two kids that have offers to other schools, and Arkansas has offered both of them this past week. And see, that's another thing. They went in there and offered them this past week, and then got them up here for the Prospect Day this Saturday. That's just so, you know, and to do that was incredible. But that's, kids get that first impression of the facilities. I talked to, you know, kids yesterday, and they don't realize, you know, what Fayetteville has to offer till they get here. I talked to, you know, some kids yesterday from Texas that came up, the parents especially, and they were talking about how they were driving up, and or you know, even flying, and you see the llamas out there, you know, and you think, man, this is Andy Mayberry or something, you know.
Where am I going?
Yeah, it's like
they get here,
20 miles from nowhere, you know, and then they get here, and it's like, boom, it was up, and it's what one of them told me. Said it was just, that's what one of the dads told me yesterday. He said, man, it was like, where are we going? You know, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then bang, said, get here, and it's beautiful.
Right.
And said, love this, and that's where you can't. They can watch videos of this. They can go on YouTube. They can watch all the stuff that U of A, and they do a great job of producing videos to show what they've got. But to see it in person makes all the difference, and that's how you make impressions. Getting them here for these Prospect Days, Drew, and that's how they get to see it for themselves, because you can't put everything on a video. I had recruits tell me that all the time, that they get on there and watch that stuff on YouTube and see it, and they, man, this is a good facility. But when you get here and see it in person, and not just the facility, but the town, you know, the community, the area, Northwest Arkansas, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great package, and Otis, I know you're going to continue to work. That's what you do. I want to give you some time off at some point, man. It's not up to me, but I know after National Signing Day, you want to take a little breather, but my man just works. He's been doing it for us here at 24/7. On Hogville, so check out his work there. Again, National Signing Day is coming up on Wednesday. We have Kevin McPherson, Hoops Insider from Hogville, after this on the Big Trail.